So this image is going around the internet right now. It's making its rounds, and it is pretty not great when you take the image by itself, but it does, like always, there's more context to the story. And something I think we're going to do here is try to give what little context there is available.
It's pretty not great.
It is not. No, it's not. I'll say it. When I saw the image, I was like, "What the hell are they doing?" But then you read the story, like any normal, sane person should do, and then you still okay. It's not as cut and dry as ICE has apprehended a 5-year-old. So, kind of what's going on is right now there is a 5-year-old in ICE custody, and he is with his father. ICE was conducting an operation to apprehend the father. The child was with him. They were coming home from preschool. The father ran, and ICE basically maintained custody of the child while they chased after the father. Then, once they got the father, detained him, they took the child up to the home that they were heading towards, and had the child. They knocked on the door, and then they ended up leaving and taking the child. And now I believe both are in Texas in a holding facility. And that is kind of the facts that nobody can argue. That is what happened. Those are the things, the series of events. But already we're
I'd
seeing.
say it's a series of unfortunate events.
I never saw those movies.
I think there were books. I think
They
there was like
made
one.
movie- yeah, they
there was
made
like one movie.
yeah.
But
But,
I've never read or saw them.
Nope. But so there are a couple things that both sides are kind of already jumping on. The left is immediately jumping on. I've heard stories come out already from people trying to spin it, and they're like, ICE is detaining 5-year-olds. They're arresting 5-year-olds, and then it goes to, oh, they're using 5-year-olds as bait. They're using them as bait to lure out more people. And I just want to say real quick, like I said earlier, it's too soon to tell. We don't know the full story. We don't know the full context. And before you click off and before you're like, I don't know, I don't need to know the full context. Yeah, you do. Otherwise, you're going to look like an idiot down the road when more information comes out. Anyone will. You need full information or full context before you can come to a full baked opinion on something. So I will say that there is no reason to believe that there's no credible evidence to suggest that they were there for the child. There's none. They stated they were there for the father. They apprehended the father. The child remains with the father because they're following ICE procedure. ICE procedure is to keep the children with the parents until probably I think it's like the last leg of the process. So they moved him to Texas in the holding facility. From there, when they do deport the father, they will then move the child into a child care services. Now, the reason they may have gone and knocked on the door with the child, because it would have been illegal for them to take anyone else from the home because they didn't have a warrant, and they didn't do that. So this idea of using the kid as bait is kind of flimsy. What they were probably doing was seeing who else was home because they were trying to leave the child in the custody of someone else. ICE policy is when they do detain parents and kids is to ask the parent what they would like where the kid should go. Should they remain with the adult, or is there someone else the child can go stay with? Put them in their custody. That to me, I think that's what they were trying to do. It's what it looked like they were trying to do. So now more information may come out, and they may be like, hey, more information like, I don't know. Do they all have body cams yet? They should all have body cams by now. I don't know why they don't. But if information comes out and footage comes out and shows that they were, trying to lure someone else out from inside the home, then yeah, that is really bad. That is problematic. But you can't draw that conclusion from what we know has transpired, and what we know is ICE's kind of operating procedures. So on the other flip side, the right needs to stop kind of just throwing out any possible counterclaim to anything that ICE is claiming that they did. Scrutinize it. Did they follow the best procedure they could have when dealing in this situation? Did the father, because it may come out that the father requested the child to stay with somebody, and ICE ended up keeping him with the father. That may have been the case. Now, ICE procedure does allow them to make that judgment call where if they determine it's too dangerous to separate them at the time, they keep them together. Who knows what was going on in the situation? We'll see how it plays out. But what we need to do is stop these knee-jerk responses and coming up with these opinions that are not fully formulated because we don't have all the information yet. Every single time we do this, every single time it turns into a partisan issue, and people use it as ammunition to further divide the citizens, the left from the right. And it is just it's so crazy to see the media and politicians immediately rushing to divide this issue when this could be a very simple cut and dry situation where they followed procedure, and what we saw is what happened. But it's don't believe your lying eyes and ears, right, Ethan? Don't believe them. It's so. Hopefully that adds a little bit of context, and who knows, maybe by the time we do post this, I'm gonna try and post this pretty quick, there's more information, and everything we said then needs to be thrown out the window. I don't know, we'll see. And if that's the case, then we'll add some sort of context, and we will continue to, I don't want to say report, we're not journalists, but give more information on what's going on. So
yeah, I don't know, I was looking up the case like just on Google as you were talking, and it's funny. ABC News, their headline was 5-year-old asylum seeker detained by ICE, which is kind of funny because there's no 5-year-old that's knowingly seeking asylum. So just the way the word is funny. But my whole opinions on what's going on is it's like kind of a nuanced thing you're dealing with, like being an ICE agent. And like, I don't know, if I were an ICE agent, would I really arrest somebody who has a kid with them? You know what I mean? Or would I maybe look for a better opportunity when there's not a child, involved in it? Like, that's just my own personal take. I'm like, that's kind of shitty thing to do.
Yeah, no,
in my opinion, like what
certainly can.
Like, I don't know if they were using them for bait or not. Which doesn't seem like they were, but I still would probably wait for a better time when the dude does not have a kid with him to apprehend him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially if there's this much heat and this much controversy surrounding the whole immigration enforcement and everything, it just seems counterproductive in a lot of ways to arrest somebody who has a kid with them.
Well, I mean, yeah, the thing is like when we have this issue and people are pushing this issue of these things that, they're using the kid as bait. Oh, the kid is a target. Okay, you're pushing these narratives. Okay, what you're doing is detracting away from what could be the actual problem with what happened. Like you said, maybe they needed a better time to detain him. That is enough scrutiny right there. You don't need to make this a huge, extravagant thing where this child they put him on the end of a fishing pole and were dangling him in front of the house to try and bait out whoever was inside. Like that doesn't need to be that crazy. It can be as simple as, we need to judge or decide on ICE's judgment in apprehending him at the time they did. It could be as simple as that. That could be valid criticism right there.
Right. I mean, if that were the way that they were arguing, I think they'd get a lot further than trying to say that they're using it as bait. But
yeah,
because I think anybody would agree that they're probably better time to arrest somebody.
Yeah. Man,
especially if like they know his schedule. Obviously, if they were there waiting for him to go home from preschool with his kid. So
yeah.
But anyways,
yeah. So
like when I saw it, like I'm not like against ICE or anything, but when I saw that they had a 5-year-old, I was just like, ew.
My initial reaction,
super cringy. I was like, oh my God.
My initial reaction was, well, okay, so I should say this. My initial reaction nowadays to anything is, I'm very, very, if I see just a single image or just a short clip, I'm like, context, what's going on outside of this?
Sure.
Because I'm so sick and tired of exactly what they're trying to do and blow this up and turn this into a partisan, because now if the left is so adamant on what this is, the right can't even have discourse with them, and that pushes the right to be even more solidified in their opinions of what's going on. And it just creates this narrative, this division where you only believe your narrative and you can't even communicate to the other side without screaming, yelling, insults, all of it. And we can't even sit down and agree that, yeah, okay, maybe this wasn't the best time to do that because we're too focused on, this accusation that they were using as bait, or the other accusation of they did absolutely nothing wrong, like ICE did absolutely nothing wrong. Like, it's just the knee-jerk reaction. When the left or the right, whoever attacks somebody, the other side tends to rush to the defense in that. So it's just how it is, and it's unfortunate because it's just division. They're just dividing us.
Yeah, it's just the media. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was it. A little shorter form there. Just want to kind of shed some light on that. We'll probably do that for some more topics moving forward. We'll see. So, yeah, I guess biggest takeaway is pause. Take a second when you see a headline, you see a picture, see a short clip, and try to do a little bit of digging and see what else could be going on. You know, and when you do, if you do form an opinion, don't be ideologically captured by that. Be what I mean by that is don't be ideologically captured to where you can't change your opinion if new information shows itself.